After 17 years and 3 reboots, as they desperately attempt to face fuck this idea hard enough that it becomes a franchise, we finally have a sequel to a Strangers film. And it sucks so badly. There's so much going on here, and yet mostly it is just the same few things over and over again to a nauseating degree. I would be remiss if I didn't start this video right up top by saying, and warning you, just in general, in case you decide to see this film. It's a minor spoiler, but I think it needs to be put out there into the world. I need to say it so that I believe it actually happened, because I still can't quite. There is a 15-minute sequence in this film where Madeleinepetsch fights a big ol' hog. The Strangers Chapter 2 stars Madeleinepetsch as a girl who wants to leave, just leave every place she's in. So I sympathise with her a great deal sitting in the cinema watching this film. Her boyfriend's been murdered, her entire family is in London, and her friends who called her in the first film, they give her a call. They're in Greece on holiday. They offer to send her a plane to pick her up in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Oregon. Just because she's probably not having fun doing what she's doing, and they're like, yeah, come join us. That's how rich they are. That's how rich these friends are. What they are willing to do. For no reason. Never mind that she desperately needs to escape this town now. They are never contacted, never mentioned at all in this film. She calls her family, and they're like, oh, we're in London, we're on our way. Never mentions the super rich friends. In other horror films, you see protagonists think their way out of problems, but watch and wonder as she decides to dive roll out of a moving car into a forest for no real reason just because she thinks she can't trust anybody in this town, thereby doubling the length of the plot. Yeah, honestly, the plot of this film, this entire film, is she is in the hospital and is in danger and is then at their house and in danger. Like, her path between those two. That's the film. And yet, they double the length, literally, by having her dive roll out of a car for no reason into the forest, live there for a couple days, be chased by things, and then end up at their house begging to be let in. Oh my god! I just cannot fathom who chose to write this. Because honestly, right, let's put it out there. The first film, they were constricted. They were tied into a knot. They wanted to do a trilogy on this idea, fine, but the first film's going to have to be the same old film again. The Strangers, starring Liv Tyler, they just had to rehash that completely. So they didn't have a lot of creative freedom. And that's why I still, despite hating that film, had some hope going into this one that maybe it wouldn't be quite so shit, because now the constraints are off, they can do whatever they want with this idea. Whatever they came into this idea for, to make a trilogy of these films, this is now the story they wanted to go on and tell. And it's worse than the first film. They thought there was going to be some big lead-up mystery reveal to who the killers are in this film. Well, I'll tell you this about it, just because, again, it's not much of a spoiler if it happens in the first minute. They reveal who one of the killers are in the first minute with no build-up. And then they don't reveal who the others are. All the mysteries throughout the film basically focus on who the fuck is Tamara. And that was an incredibly disappointing reveal. Of course it was. Of course it was. Dear Lord, it was stupid. But they will tease who the other killers are without ever actually revealing it. But mostly, like, they introduced like 15 people in this town at least. Like, there's so many people in that cafe all the time just like being like me and like looking evil. But they don't focus on any of them because they're focusing so hard on the guy from the night agent by trying to convince you he must be a killer by having every camera angle when he's on the screen be like this, be like this. Oh. And the entire idea that maybe that like half the town is in on this just goes to shit as well. If that is the case, it's ridiculous because they kill so many random people in the town. It's so unbelievable. This might go down as the worst trilogy that has been cinematically released in history. I cannot fathom anymore that the third entry is going to get better because they have had the opportunity to show their original idea for a Stranger sequel. Totally no constraints on it, and they have screwed the fucking putsch. Also, there is a reason the strangers kill, apparently. Oh, it's because some bitch tried to steal her man when they were like 8. Those flashbacks are simultaneously the best part of it, the most interesting part, and the dumbest thing of all. I'm giving there are literally 2 scenes in this where she meets somebody who can help her and they get a crossbow bolt in their head. Just bang. Within 1 minute of meeting her. That happens twice. 1 star. Oh, just thinking about this franchise now hurts my brain. It's so bad. The fact that this was pre-planned, that they went, yeah, we're going to schedule in 1 a year for the next 3 years. Let's go. And this was their plan. This is what they've got. Holy God.